Hey Virgos, and welcome to your January 2017 General Tarot Forecast. I'm really excited to be here on the other side of the new year doing this reading for you guys, and I really hope that it resonates for you. If it does, you can check the description box below, and you can come over and book a private reading with me on my shop, or you can also email me. All that information is below. And anyway, without further ado, let's see what's coming forward for you guys for January. So I see a lot of things coming to culmination. I see relationships with other people taking on new faces, like coming to new levels. There's an evolution happening with relationships with other people. You're getting more in touch with the way that you process the things that happen. There could have been some more difficult things in 2016. I've known a lot of Virgos in my own personal life. I have a lot of Virgo friends, so I guess I attract the Virgos, who had a really difficult time in 2016. The circumstances were difficult. They had a lot of people in their lives who didn't do what they wanted, and that really wasn't the point. It's not that the Virgos were upset that people didn't do what they wanted, but it's kind of what they had to come back to. A lot of Virgos found themselves in situations in 2016 where they had to come back to themselves, where other people weren't really distracting them from, what was within. And that's very much represented as something that's coming to culmination in January for you guys, which makes me happy. Okay, money issues are going to be getting better in January. You might have been a little bit spendthrift over the holidays, but that is getting better. You could see yourself making a small amount of money in January that you didn't expect, which is going to be really helpful for you guys. You're going to be thinking about, like we're talking about relationships, but more specifically, you're going to be thinking about how other people have treated you well or mistreated you, and you're going to think about your involvement in that, how you potentially caused that, or just your contribution to what 2016 was for you. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at your cards in a week-to-week, from a week-to-week standpoint, and we'll get more into some of the archetypes coming forward. So in the first week, money is on your mind. Maybe for a very small percentage of Virgos out there, someone potentially stole money from you, or someone took advantage of you financially. Maybe you paid for a service that you never received. Maybe someone overcharged you for something, and you're finding out about that right now. This could also be you negotiating with people. If you're a business owner, you might be having a lot of meetings where you're negotiating a price point for something. Okay? You may feel like there's a lack of honesty in your relationships, yes, but especially in your relationships with regards to material resources, okay? So whoever you're married to, you might feel like there's a deception or a dishonesty about the way money was spent. And don't think that just because I'm saying that means that it's happening, but for the Virgos who are encountering this, that's coming to the forefront in January. Maybe the bank statements aren't adding up to what the person that you're with is spending, and that's making you worried. Maybe someone that you are really close to, maybe they got in trouble with money, as in, like, I almost see like loan sharks or some kind of large loan. There could have been a problem with debt. There could have been like a harassing creditor person who was like on your doorstep about wanting money back. That's the energy about money that's coming forward in the first week of January, Virgos. And it's surprising to me because you guys are usually such good budgeters, and which makes me think that it's not of your doing. So for the married Virgos, I'm thinking that you're potentially who you're with may have done something that you're not aware with money. But if it is you, I think that you have what it takes to resolve it, because the Five of Swords, it can be, being taken advantage of, but it can also mean victory. But it can be kind of a hollow victory. Maybe you really have to spend a lot of savings on resolving a debt or something. You're wanting to resolve debt. Okay, that's an interesting standpoint, which is what I just heard. Like, you've stepped into the new year wanting to really resolve the debts that you have. You're getting a new philosophy about debt and about money acquisition, and you know that you can make your money live a lot longer. You can make your money last a lot longer if you're not taking on unnecessary debt. So maybe you're really trying to cut through that with the energy of the Five of Swords. Something that's very supported during this time is you for like trying to negotiate interest rates, trying to like calling any of your credit cards and asking them to lower your payment, lower your interest rate, just establishing a dialogue with the people to whom you owe money, and seeing if there's any way that you can negotiate down the actual cost. Things like that you're going to have a lot of luck with in the first week of January. Because what I heard for a lot of Virgos is you have enough stress at the relationship and emotional level, and it's too much to have this debt or money problem looming over your head. And this isn't all of you, but for those of you who it resonates with, like, I'm so happy for you guys because you have a lot of power to change your financial situation right now. There could be someone new coming into your life with the Page of Pentacles that you have in your reading. Someone who, for the single Virgos out there, this can be someone who's recently come into not a huge amount of money, but they might have just gotten a promotion, they might have just gotten a bonus, they might have gotten a small inheritance, and it's really given them a confidence to go out into the world, maybe invest that and kind of double that money, use that money to make more money. Someone like that is coming into your life in January. So it's all about money for you guys, isn't it? It's not. It's not all about money, but money is on your mind with the idea that you want to create a smoother emotional environment because you want to cut through the BS as it relates to your emotions. You want to make sure that your financial situation is not affecting the way that you think about other people, the way that you think about yourself, and sort of your coping mechanisms in life. You do not want that to be ruled by money. So I'm getting major chills when I say this. It's like it's clicked for you guys. And the universe is going to respond so well to you coming to this realization, Virgos. It will start sending in opportunities to resolve financial problems once you realize, okay, I'm going to be more, and that comes with a responsibility too, though. You've got to think about that credit card debt in the first place. You've got to think about, because Virgos like nice things. All of the earth signs, especially Taurus and Virgo, get comfort from having nice physical surroundings, like something that you can touch, something that's tangible. Like the female Virgos love like really nice, expensive jewelry, even really nice fabrics. Like Taurus, oh my gosh, like female and even like male Taurus too. Like you'll see like the most masculine of male Taurus to be wearing like the really, really nice watches, really nice like leather shoes that are really expensive, even if they're not the most wealthy, because what it does for them is even if they don't have just a huge bank account, it draws the wealth towards them when they're wearing their wealth, when they're wearing things that are expensive. It's like the Taurus and Virgo, and to an extent Capricorn's, signal to the universe that I'm going to pull in more wealth by wrapping my body in it. So it's not really superficial per se. Sometimes the fire signs can get a superficiality with resources and money and expensive things, but the earth signs, unless they've got a lot of fire going on, nice material things are to signal the universe. They're to signal the desire for an influx of what purchased that for them. You know what I mean? And that energy is coming in. Maybe the Virgos got some really good Christmas presents, or maybe you got a gift of money in Christmas. Okay, this is coming forward. Some Virgos got some money for Christmas, and you guys are torn between buying yourself something really nice and putting that towards like credit card debt or something, and just putting all of that towards a debt. And let me tell you guys what the message is. The message is to put at least 80% of it towards the debt, because once you get rid of that debt, once you no longer have that payment, once you're not paying for the past, it will be so much easier to draw off of the resources that you gain in the present to then buy the things that you desire. And I don't mean to be a downer at all for you guys, but use some of it to buy yourself something nice, and try to avoid the whole thought of like using credit to buy nice things right now. That could, because there are some emotional wounds that could be trying to cover themselves up with the guise of nice things. So now may not be the time to go out with your credit card and just buy whatever what your eyes set themselves on, because when you step into the second week of January, Virgos, there's a drained feeling. There's now I'm not saying that you guys are going to just like be drained, but there's something about the way that you cling on to energy, and that you've realized this for a long time, the way that you hold on to your emotional energy. Like, you're thinking about that and you're trying to resolve that. It's like the first week was about the money. The first week was making sure that your money situation isn't affecting your emotional situation. And then the second week starts to focus more on the emotional situation. And it's like you're really cleansing yourself this month, Virgo. You're really cleansing of like old habits, old financial and emotional habits. They're like siphoning out to create a new system, which is so great for you guys. You've got the Eight of Swords in your reading, which says that you're still feeling trapped by something. Maybe you feel trapped by your financial circumstance. Maybe you feel trapped by a relationship, or the way that you are or are not able to cope with emotional events that have happened in, let's just say all of 2016. So yes, the second week, though, is all about how you cope with emotions, and also the aspects of give and take in your relationships. Like, you're thinking about emotions in the field of relationships. And you're thinking like justly, like you're trying to own up to the things that you've done, both bad and good, and you expect that of the people in your life as well. For the coupled Virgos out there who are with somebody, you're maybe really sitting down and having a dialogue with your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whoever it is, and you're like assessing the ways that you give and the ways that you take, and like vice versa. Like you're both kind of, I almost see, especially for like the Virgos who are with other Virgos, I see you guys like sitting down and making a list of what each partner does well and does not do well in the relationship, and it's like you're both trying to work together to make it better, and that's beautiful to me. And you're both kind of finding out new things about yourself with the High Priestess there, and it could actually be a really good month for relationships. It has the potential to be so. And that swings the opposite direction for some Virgos. You might really be trying to pinpoint and fix and kind of tie up the loose ends of the relationship, and you want your partner to go along with that, but they might feel like you're being a bit of a control freak with the Eight of Swords there and the Five of Swords. It might feel like you're kind of just unloading your entire emotional complex onto them with the Ace of Cups reversed. And, the Six of Pentacles can also be a card that kind of brings control and control mechanisms to the forefront. So it could go the other way. It could potentially cause some conflict as well. And I feel like the way to avoid that conflict is to make sure that you're listening to them as well. Like, instead of coming to them and being extremely assertive and being like, this is how I feel about it, I need you to change right now for me because it's not working the way that it is. Maybe some of you need to do that, but I would, if it's come to that point, if the tone has shifted to kind of demanding a change on the other person's behalf without much empathy for their situation, I would begin the process of asking yourself if this relationship is worth hanging on to. Because if it's healthy, you should be able to really be gentle about it. You should be able to come to the person that you're with in a gentle way and, be like, okay, let's talk about, like adults, where we're at. What am I doing well? What am I struggling with? Let's establish a dialogue. I'm open. I would appreciate the same from you. Going at it from an angle like that is going to get you guys onto the side of this that really sees a lot of progress in a relationship right now. Okay, but if you guys come at it in any kind of dogmatic way, like it's your way or the highway, or like, also there's a potential to kind of be a damsel in distress too for a small percentage of Virgos, where you, I don't want to say play the victim, but really emphasize the way that you feel victimized and how you're just like, oh, I'm a victim of my environment, you do nothing to help me, and it's like, oh, I'm buying all these things, I'm spending all this money, but I'm still a victim of my environment, and woe is me. You guys, Virgos out there, you guys have got to step past that mindset. And I say that with the utmost gentleness because I get where you're at and I understand that train of thought, because if you're there, if your vibration is there, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter where you're at in life, you will feel like a victim to your environment. But emphasizing that and trying to make that the catalyst for change in your relationship is not going to see you very far, unfortunately. I have to be completely upfront with you guys. Um, and I always feel like I get kind of worried in my readings to be like extremely upfront or talk about negative things, but so far with my channel, like, people appreciate it, and just let me know if it seems too like overwhelming for you guys. But I always try to be like objective and not like be judgy. I don't really know what the right word is. Anyway, stepping into the third week, this is when you guys are going to like register it all. This is when you will know if this dialogue that you've had about give and take has helped or has caused any changes. This is when you're going to start to see the changes in money come through, although that will also be very apparent in the fourth week as well. It's going to be kind of a general aspect of January. But in the third week, you're faced with yourself again. And I'll talk about the single Virgos in a second here too. But again, for the coupled Virgos, it's like maybe you're seeing yourself and habits that you've had in the person that you're with. Maybe they start doing some of the things that you've done, and you see the other side of it, and you see, wow, is this how I am? Is this what it feels like to be around me? And be careful of that, because there might be a hypersensitivity to like your situation, and I don't think that it's as difficult as you're making it out to be. Like, don't be too harsh on yourself in that way. But you do see, and this could also be for the single Virgos out there, through like a friend or through someone who reminds you of yourself, who reminds you of your shadow aspects, who does things that you know that you do, and it's kind of a wake-up call. Like, you might see someone who kind of plays up a damsel in distress type of attitude. You might see someone who talks about how trapped they are by their environment, when in reality they could really honestly change it, but they're so overwhelmed, and you get like a sadness for them. You think, wow, I feel for you. I feel so sad for you, but look at how much you could do to change it. And then it's like a light bulb goes off, and you think, wow, look at what I could do to change my situation. So this is actually a really good wake-up call for you guys. And you start to see like how strong you actually are through that, and maybe you start making some of those changes in the third week. And those changes that you start to make brings this karmic universal energy into your life starting in the fourth week. Okay, you have the Page of Pentacles rooted down by the Justice card. And Taurus actually had the same thing, except it was the Page of Wands rooted down by the Justice card. So for any of you Virgos with any Taurus placements, I feel like this will be especially accurate for you. There's this person, so this could be a person coming into your life, obviously, the male Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, who's really giving you a karmic situation. I feel like it's a little bit different for the Virgos. I think this is someone who's been here for a while. This is probably the person that I'm talking about, who you might be having this dialogue with about the aspects of give and take in your relationship. But it could also be a new person coming in, especially for the single Virgos. There's some kind of wrong that's being righted in the fourth week, when whether you guys did wrong or someone did wrong to you, something is kind of being set right. Something is being justly concluded. This could be closure for any Virgos who've gone through any kind of breakup, which it could be with the Ace of Cups reversed and the Five of Swords. Some Virgos have been through a difficult breakup, that's for sure. It's made you really feel like a damsel in distress, and you don't like portraying yourself that way. I've used that word, that phrase a few times in this video, and it's not that Virgos want to be a damsel in distress, most definitely not. You guys are very self-sufficient and want to be seen as self-sufficient. But maybe you feel that you've been acting like a damsel in distress and you can't help it, or maybe to kind of establish communication, you feel like you have to play yourself up as a damsel in distress because you feel like this person wouldn't talk to you unless you were very desperate for it. So that could be one of the lower energies coming forward. But try not to worry too much about it, Virgos. Like, don't try to kind of subterfuge the situation. Don't try to manipulate and inspire things, because justice is coming in the fourth week. The universe is going to set things straight. For you guys who feel wronged out there, for you guys who want to be vengeful or try to inspire this person to like right it or get closure will be coming. And it will be surprising, especially if you keep your hands clean, Virgos, it will be surprising how fulfilling that is for you. Even if you feel like closure is the last thing that you want right now, even if you feel like you still want to be in a relationship, the right thing is about to happen. So take some solace in that, in knowing that the universe is here. The only time I ever think that the universe isn't present is if there's all minor arcana. I mean, it always is to some extent, but things are being changed. Things are being shifted and inspired by the universe right now. Things aren't at a standstill, for sure. You have the High Priestess and Justice. So things are going to be changing for sure for you guys. For any Virgos who are having legal problems, it looks like you will be getting a sum of money from this legal issue. If you're suing or you're getting a divorce, this could be like alimony, this could be child support, anything that has to do with getting money through the justice system. You know, I see success with that in the 4th week. You could be really stressing out about some kind of legal problem through January. And don't worry too much, because I think that you already know about it. I don't think this is something that's going to just come out of the blue at you. Maybe you guys are going to court about something that's been, you know, waiting to be resolved for a long time, and the message is it will be resolved, and you will benefit in some way. You might not get quite as much as you're expecting, but you will get something. So, and think about whatever you get, and think about how that's just. You know, think about if it is just. Think about if you don't get as much as you were expecting, even if it's not legal. Like, in any situation, whether it be in a relationship or a legal issue or what have you, if you don't get what you're expecting, or you feel like lacking, or you feel as if you were not given what you deserved, like, ask yourself why. Like, kind of ask, like, what did I do to not get this? And I don't mean that in the way, I should rephrase that a little bit. I don't mean that in a way where you get like all depressed and you're like, oh, I'm not adequate, I didn't deserve it all anyway. But do think about like actions that, you know, you might be getting some difficult karma for, because that's part of the human experience. You know, none of us are purely higher evolved, otherwise we wouldn't be in this third dimensional realm, fourth, one of those realms. So, and for some Virgos, I'm seeing that you will get a lot more than you expected, because you've got the 10 of Pentacles too. So if you've had a difficult dialogue with yourself about the situation and you end up getting a lot more than you expected, then let that be a message from the universe that, you know, maybe you are being too hard on yourself, and maybe you did contribute more than it was made out to be, to this marriage, to this relationship, to your career, whatever it may be. And I think that the main message is don't let the relationship with yourself be damaged by other people's choices. That just kind of came forward randomly. I've kind of talked a little bit about that throughout the reading, I believe. You know, the High Priestess, the 8 of Swords, the 5 of Swords. You know, almost every single card in this spread talks something about like some kind of compromise, some kind of like feeling trapped by compromise, feeling like there's not an equal give and take. And make sure that you're not allowing those things to damage like how you feel about yourself, like your self-concept, your self-dialogue, because that's going to be tested, I think. And you know, for some Virgos, it could really see you like being rewarded for how you haven't done that over 2016, how you have stayed strong in your skin. But make sure that you don't allow whatever potential difficulty that comes about to change your feelings about yourself, and to affect, you know, your voice, your intuition, or to doubt your intuition, stuff like that. You know, everything can happen on the outside world, all these unexpected things, but you need to have an element of consistency on your internal world to balance that out, you know, with justice especially. You know, there needs to be more balance. Maybe sometimes you're really there for yourself and you really feel consistent and strong in your foundations. And then maybe sometimes it just doesn't feel that way, and you can't really predict it. Now's a time to work through that. Now's a time to establish some consistency. You know, I have all the faith in the world in you guys. Something is being resolved for sure. Debts are being resolved. Old relationships are being resolved. Something's closing out so that something new can happen. You know, make sure that you meet the universe halfway and empty out any voids that need to be in your system, Virgo. I really enjoyed your reading. I wish you all the luck. If you haven't subscribed yet, I so appreciate it. If you want to book a private reading with me, the option should be on this list. Make sure to watch your rising and moon sign as well. I believe that you can click on that playlist now as well. So have an amazing January, Virgos, and good luck with it all.